heard there is a problem for the millennials.
Big.
George.
Dave, I've lost so
much sleep. It's a millennial weight loss program. There's an avocado ban on avocados coming in from Mexico. So
it's a healthy fat, Dave. It's a healthy
I know,
fat.
but I'm just saying millennial avocado toast is toast until we get our avocados back. And so, oh, wait! It's been reversed. That was Friday. On Friday, they lifted the ban. You're going to make it, George. You're going to make it.
This is the best news I've read in a long time.
Because, I mean, you had lost like a half a pound. I know
it was
you
getting
had.
dangerous.
And you didn't have a half a pound to lose.
No.
So
this is wild. So Mexico supplies about 80% of the avocados eaten in the United States. There was a ban, and it's been lifted.
And it's stemming from purported threats to a U.S. inspector in the Latin American country.
Shook a bill.
So the cartel got after a U.S. inspector hanging out down there, gave him a little one-up, and he shuts down $1 billion worth of avocado toast, buddy. I'm just saying, this guy's got power.
I'm in the wrong industry.
What's your son do? He's an avocado inspector, but he actually runs the entire economy of Mexico. $1 billion worth of avocados. So, yeah, of course, during the ban...
You thought getting out of debt was a lucrative business.
The mean tweets thing is coming back. During the ban, Kimberly, and I won't read your last name because I don't want people to come after you.
That's not the spirit here.
She might be 12. You never know. She might be 82. And in neither case would we want people to, bother Kimberly.
That's right.
She says, I bet you Dave Ramsey is super stoked about the avocado import ban. He's like, these millennials can't waste their millions on avocado toast anymore. There you go. See, I knew it was coming. I don't know how I got hooked up with that because I don't remember me saying that one.
I don't think you
That was
particularly
another
did.
financial guy out there in the space, and I think it might have been David Bach. I don't remember. But we've always used examples that say, okay, if you cut your spending by just a little bit and invest that, you will end up with money. We've said that long before millennials were born. We said that. And one example was always, if you cut out a cup of coffee, if you quit buying coffee, and then it became Starbucks, $5, right? Now it's with inflation, it's $8, but and then with a latte, it's $26.
It's insane.
And with universal life wage of $42 an hour, it's now $42. And if you Uber it and have it brought in by Uber Eats with the upcharges, it's $62.
This is getting out of hand.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But anyway, a cup of coffee, if you just said, I'm not going to spend that, instead I'm going to let that money accumulate into an investment, turns into money. It's a math example. It's not an actual suggestion that says you become wealthy by not drinking coffee or not eating avocado toast.
That's how millennials took it.
But somebody said the millennials were, back when we first started, everybody started griping about millennials. The millennial hate thing started, right? Like they're useless. They get participation trophies. They live in their mother's basement. All that stuff that was said about millennials, which is not true, by the way.
No.
But it was, and somebody in the financial world. It really wasn't me, I don't think. If you can find the tweet out there, send it to me. If I did it, I'll own it because I've said some stupid butt stuff. But do you think I said it, James?
No, I think it just was a meme going around that...
No, somebody picked it up off a meme. It was actually a guy said it. I'm positive.
Okay.
And then it turned into a meme, and then it turned into I said it.
Right, it got conflated with you.
Yeah, I said
That's
it.
how
Because I
culture
tell
works.
people to live on less than they make. I tell them not to do foolish spending. And this guy's point was the millennials would be okay if they quit spending their money on avocado toast and put their money in a Roth IRA. And that's... absolutely not true. That doesn't work mathematically, but it's an example. It's a metaphor for control your spending. But then the millennials get all jacked up and entitled and are like, well, my avocado toast,
Well, now they buy it to spite you. That's what they do.
Well, I actually like it.
People are hate buying avocado toast.
I never had avocado toast until this whole thing got pinned on me.
It's delicious.
And I actually order it now. But I can afford it, so it's okay.
New headline, Dave Ramsey orders avocado toast.
That's shocking.
That's it.
Can you cover it with gravy? That's what I want to know. But yeah, okay. So red eye gravy, baby. All right. So I bet you Dave Ramsey's super stoked about the avocado import ban. He's like, ha ha, these millennials can't waste their millions on avocado toast anymore.
Wow.
So that's the whole story. Me getting pinned with this thing.
I love the assumption that these millennials have millions, that they're just, I guess, collectively. Collectively, they're spending millions, maybe.
Yeah.
But we do love our avocados. Don't take those away from us.
Well, so here's the thing. The mean tweets, we used to have to kind of, when Twitter was young, it was actually a conversation. Now it's just a bunch of trolls.
It's just bots and trolls.
It's deteriorated. It's just it's a pile of trolls. It's a troll pile. And so, but So finding mean tweets in the old days, it was 1 out of 500 tweets or something. But you could do a search
the majority.
do a search on Dave Ramsey, and you could find mean tweets. All you got to do is open up now. It's not hard at all. Boomer.
It's a fun pastime.
You get anything or every possible name that you can call people. So James, if we're going to do mean tweets, they cannot. We can't violate the FCC rules on words said on the air, so we can't use a lot of them. We'll just have to bleep them.
We can bleep them, and they have to be creative and funny and fun, not just like, oh man,
not just hateful,
not just angry.
Basically, he wants you to be creatively mean. If you're going to be mean, do it in a creative.
If you want to make the show with your mean tweet, you need to be mean without unbelievable cuss words because we can't use them.
Yeah, that's true.
We're actually on public radio. We'll get fined.
The funniest ones were from the kids in class that were taking our curriculum.
They were forced to go through the curriculum.
Yeah, they're in, because 48% of the classes are teaching our curriculum in high schools now. 48% of the high schools are teaching it. So, they're making fun of Dave Ramsey. I go watch these videos. Wish the coach would actually do his job and teach.
And now
he's a coach. He's not a teacher. Yeah.
And now you've passed it on to me. I hosted our latest curriculum, so now I get the hate mail.
You get hate mail from
kids
millennials?
Saying this guy's a tool.
Really?
Yeah,
You're
know what
a tool?
happens. I guess. I don't know. I don't even know what a tool is.
Huh.
But, hey.
It's an avocado tool.
Avocado tool. I'll take that. But the kids these days,
avocado toast eating.
They think they're just posting into the abyss. They don't know that we can see it, especially when they direct message you, right? That's a whole different ballgame.
Well, here's the thing. The problem, it's just the problem with this. I think we're going to see a change in this. I think it's in the air because it's gotten so far out of control. And the problem with this is that, and we kept trying to tell people this in the early days with social media when it first started, especially Twitter, and it's going to come back to bite you because this stuff is forever. Even if you delete the tweet, somebody could have screenshotted it.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you delete the Instagram comment, somebody could have screenshotted it. And so I'm up to I think I've blocked 10,000 people.
That's impressive.
It was a hobby for a while.
Yeah, you got to automate
I would kind of drink my morning coffee. I block 10 a morning,
That's good.
And it's like...
Pace yourself.
Well, if you're going to cuss me and, all this other stuff, but I...
Well, now it's a medal of honor. I don't know if you know that, but people are excited to get blocked by you, and they hold it up as a badge.
Really?
It's a thing. They brag about it to their friends.
Oh, man.
It's a real thing.
Who knew I could create a different kind of...
It's the only competition they can win. So they like to hold that up. Sorry. Was that too? I'm sorry. I take it back.
That was good.
Take it back.
Zing!
It's a sport.
This is a trophy you actually earned.
Yep. The Blocked by Dave trophy. You can't mount it on the wall, but it's great dinner time conversation. Wow.
Well, I mean, moms and dads that raise kids that say things on the internet that they would never have the backbone to say in person. Because you get your face punched in if you said this to someone's face.
Yep.
And so, and I watch them, they're talking about some quarterback or some vaccinated thing on some quarterback or whatever. They're wearing out Aaron Rodgers. They're wearing out whoever. And, as if you stood in that guy's presence, he's the size of not Aaron Rodgers, but I mean,
sure.
He'd have one of his linemen pound you into the ground like avocado toast. I mean,
there it is. Yeah. We got a full circle. So, we came back around.
All right, mean tweets coming up. Not this segment, but soon. James is going to try to collect ones that are actually funny.
James might write some. Be careful.
James,
be careful.
He could get the booth people.
Don't get on his bad side. The booth folk might come after us.
Tweets to get back at me for calling them booth folk.
They've got a lot of dirt.
Is coming.
The comeuppance.
You have no idea what's coming on the internet now. This is The Ramsey Show. Today's question is from Colin in Texas. I'm looking to open a checking and savings account with an online bank. Been looking at Discover and American Express. I want to know what you thought of those banks, or is there a different online bank you recommend? Thank you. Well, I don't do business with anything that has American Express on the front of it because they once asked my wife why she would stay with a man that wouldn't pay his bills, and she called me crying and said she was thinking the same thing. So I'm done with them. That's what happens when a hillbilly gets mad. That was 37 years ago. I'm still pissed, okay? So I don't do any business with American Express under any circumstances. And I really don't like doing business with Visa, but I have a Visa debit card through my bank. Discover pretty much has one goal in life, and that's debt. So I'm not sure why I would use them as my bank. So overall, both of them sound like credit card companies to me, not banks. And my tendency would be to stay away from them for those reasons. Now, would I use an online bank exclusively? There's nothing wrong with that if you check out their background and so forth. I am a little bit more old school, and I use what you would call a click and mortar bank, a bank that is a traditional bank but has tremendous online capabilities. And so I've got both. However, I've not been inside of a bank in probably years. Because of two reasons. One is I don't have any need to go in. I'm spoiled rotten. I have an accounting team here that does all of my transactions. I don't go to banks. I don't need to. So I'm just spoiled. That's what that means. I don't even go over there to deposit my own stuff. Other people do that, right? So that kind of thing. So I'm a little bit of a weirdo in that sense. So I don't need a actual physical location. Most of us do transactions now. 90-something% of our transactions are online. So there's nothing wrong with an online bank. I haven't chosen that route personally, so I don't have a recommendation for you. The other thing I look for in a bank is I actually want human beings around, even if it's online, that I can have somewhat of a connectivity to. That's why I don't recommend you do business with the super huge banks, the Wells Fargos, the Bank of Americas, where you're pretty much a number, and they couldn't give a rip less if you're there, especially unless you're borrowing money. And so I use community banks and credit unions. Those are the two things I endorse in a lot of communities around America. When you turn on the Dave Ramsey Show, you'll hear my voice, which we don't put my voice on stuff I don't believe in. And our team hasn't checked out in detail. And so a lot of community banks, a lot of credit unions have my voice on it. And a lot of those have very high-end online experiences. And so, again, you get a click and mortar. You get the benefit of a location where you can walk in and you know Sally, or George, the teller. And you get to know them over the years, like in the old days. If you're regularly making a physical deposit or withdrawal or something, you can do that. You actually know the branch manager, like in the old days. And they actually, in the smaller banks, they have more power. A Bank of America branch manager has less power than the teller in terms of waiving NSF fees or taking care of a problem or something, moving some money. They really are. They can't even approve a car loan. I mean, at the local level, they're just all the decision making is decentralized. And so, in the old days, a banker was a pillar in the community, and they had a lot of power to make decisions. Now, a banker is a joke in these large banks. They truly have nothing. It's like an entry level position. It's a horrible position, honestly. If you're a branch manager for Bank of America, I'm sorry for you. It's pitiful. And so, of course, I obviously don't like Bank of America. I don't know why anybody does business there. Wells Fargo, they just make up accounts and put them on. I mean, and they fired thousands and thousands of people for fraud, So, yeah, just that's my thing. So, online banking's okay. I don't personally do it, so I can't really tell you to go do it because I'm not hypocritical. I love the regional bank and credit union, and that's where I would send you. Evan is with us in Denver, Colorado. Hi, Evan. How are you?
Good, Dave. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
Yeah, I see a lot of people are turning towards artificial intelligence and robo-advisors to get their financial advice. I was curious to see what you thought about that. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I know from what I've played around with it, they don't necessarily say your advice is bad, but they don't disagree with it or agree with it. I know particularly they say there is such thing as good debt and that the best way to get out of debt is a debt avalanche.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you just got to decide who you want to be advising you, chatbot or human.
Mm-hmm. I see a lot of financial advisors putting it into their practices. I was just wondering, is it a dangerous thing? Is it a good thing?
It's both. AI and robo investing is good. There's nothing wrong with any of it, especially where you're dealing with a very small account and you're just getting started, and it causes you at a low cost to get started as an investor. But if I was managing $1 million, am I letting a chatbot do that? Nope.
Yep.
Don't think so.
Yep.
Really. I mean, AI stuff's very impressive. I was looking at it in a meeting this morning. Some of the stuff that we're going to be able to do with it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
How cool some of this stuff is. But with it comes the danger of no human oversight, and that's the only way you know if the advice coming out of it is accurate is you're measuring it against a human's value system.
That's the point. And Evan, I would tell you that artificial intelligence is about knowledge. What it lacks is wisdom. And that's what Dave's talking about. You're talking about a guide, a human being who understands principles through experience. And AI is nothing more than a world-class aggregation tool, if you want to just break it down. And so it's knowledge, knowledge, knowledge. But the answer to your question lies in what you said, artificial intelligence. It's not wisdom. It's knowledge that has been aggregated, and you need wisdom. And it's never going to replace the human touch.
So here's the thing. You are always in charge of your money, not your financial advisor, whether it's AI, whether it's robo, whether it's an individual human being. You have to understand where the money's going. You are in charge of it. It's your fault if it screws up because you let it happen. It's your money. And so, what that means is if your financial advisor says, oh, there's good debt, you need to go borrow on your house. You go, I need a new financial advisor. This one's an idiot. Oh, you need to go get a universal life policy. Oh, I need a new financial advisor. This one's an idiot. And so, you have to make those calls because you've already decided certain things you're going to do and not going to do. And regardless of who it is that's coming at you, whether it's, which to me, it's very interesting. It's almost an oxymoron to say artificial intelligence. It's like, like airline service. These things don't go in the same sentence. But anyway, but it is very impressive. And it is a great aggregator. So it's going to be kind of fun to see what we can do with it as a tool. But am I going to turn my life over to a single human, a robo-advisor, or an AI chatbot? Not a chance. I'm in charge of my life. My job to manage it. I can listen to what they have to say and decide if I want to fire them or not. Candace is with us in St. Louis. Hi, Candace. How are you?
Hi, David Ramsey. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
I am in $200,000 in debt with student loans.
Oh, Lord.
And I haven't even finished college. And right now I am working a minimum wage job, and I'm just trying to get a hold of my life right now. So I'm just trying to get some guidance at this point.
What were you doing going $200,000 in debt?
Well, I was going to school for film and video, and at first I was going for interior design, then I transferred to a different school for film and video. So that's pretty much the schools that I was going to were out of state.
Good Lord.
Yeah. And
did it not bother you that you were running up that much debt? I mean, how do you emotionally do that?
I went to school right out of high school, and my parents, they didn't know much about, financing, or at least they didn't teach me anything about it. They just told me that I'll have these student loans and I had to pay them back. And I really wasn't conscious of, student loans in that sense.
So how much do you like before you graduate?
I have only like a year left, and I want to go back to school to get my degree.
Yeah.
But right now, I just want to at least try to take a big chunk out of the student loans, at least a little bit of it.
Yeah. Well, you're not going to do that making minimum wage, obviously. You're barely eating making. How old are you?
I'm 28. This is another thing that I am working on. So I am working on a movie, and I'm putting my money that I work into the movie, and I also have sponsorships that's helping fund the movie, and I also have partnerships as well. And so I'm just taking a leap of faith that this movie will bring a substantial amount of money.
What makes you think that?
just faith. And I believe the storyline is a good storyline and it's a good content to cover.
Mm-hmm. I mean, do you know anything about distributing a movie and monetizing it?
Well, this is the thing. I mean, it's an independent movie, and I know that my partner, he is going to help, with any of the funds that we need in order to get it to where we need to go, basically. He just basically put his faith into my project. That's how.
Okay. Yeah. I want to see you live your dream, and I want to see the movie be produced and get out there. But I'm also duty bound as your old ugly uncle to tell you the truth, and that is that you have a pattern since you're 20 years old of entering into things and not caring what they cost and not knowing what you're getting into. Mm-hmm. I mean, the movie business is a rough and tumble business. Independent movies that go out there and make big money are almost none.
Right.
You've got to be aware of that.
Yeah, I'm aware. I'm totally aware of it.
So you can't, I listen, I'm a person of faith, but there's faith and then there's just dreaming. And so I want you to have a solid business plan by which your faith is executed. And my partner is going to put some money into it and get it where it needs to go. That's not a business plan. And the movies, movies get made every day that nobody sees.
That's true.
And lots of independent movies get made every day that nobody sees. And I'm okay with you working on your dream, but you've got to start entering into things, whether it's your continuation of your education, whether it's the time you're spending on this movie, the money you're spending on this movie, or whatever it is, you've got to start entering into things with your eyes more open and just going, oh, we're just going to start this and it'll all work out, because, baby, it hasn't been working out. And if you spend, let's say you spend 2 years on this movie and you get zip out of it.
Oh no, I'm not spending 2 years. But go ahead.
But I mean that's you've got to have an understanding of the behind the scenes part of how a movie gets launched and how it turns into money that you don't have today. Otherwise, you can't spend your time on it, and because it's not a dream anymore, it becomes a nightmare. Like you going to school. It was your parents' dream for you to go to school, but nobody thought about what you were spending on that schooling. And so you've gotten yourself in an absurd scenario with $200,000 in student loan debt, working a minimum wage job. That's just a horrible place to be for you, darling. I just feel so bad for you. So I want you to start things in your life that you can see in detail how they can occur. And that is faith, too. That's wisdom is what it is. And wisdom goes with faith. And so step by step by step, how am I going to get my career rolling, actually make some money, a high probability of making some money, not one shot in the dark, which is really what a movie is. It's one shot in the dark. And I don't mind you working on that, but that probably ought to be your side gig while you work on something else that makes you some money and you get over there, finish your degree, and then you get out there making 50, 60, 80, 100, 150,000. You get yourself a career track going, kiddo, so you can get this mess cleaned up and you can live a life. Because right now you've got this monstrous oppression over the top of your head with this debt. I'm so sad for you. I wish I could just wave a wand and make it go away, but what I want you to hear, and I want you to hear me loving you and not saying I'm not a dream killer. I'm not a dream stealer, but I am somebody that tries to prevent nightmares from occurring. And right now, you got a nightmarish occurrence with the student loan debt, and if you don't develop a detailed plan on how this movie turns into money and you keep working on it, you're entering into another nightmare. So you need to have a pattern where what Stephen Covey said in the books, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, is you begin with the end in mind. And it's not just, I'm going to make this movie and I have faith it's going to make me $1 bazillion. Those are words that indicate you don't know what you're doing. And you need to go find what you're doing. And that's when you put wisdom and faith together. And as you start doing those things, you're going to see some differences. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. That is not my goal here. I'm trying to love you well, kiddo, while you're here on the air with me. So I want you to go through our class, Financial Peace University, since I picked on you. And I picked on you for your own good. But I want you to go through the 9-week class. I will pay for it. I'm going to give it to you for free because you need some good people in your life to gather around you and help you walk through this that can see the end in mind with you as far as this being this debt and getting your money under control and really getting your career on track too. So I tell you also, Kelly, when we pick up and you give her Financial Peace University, also give her the book Start. And Candace, I want you to read that book as soon as it comes in the mail. I want you to sit down that day and read that book. It won't take you that long. It's a quick read. And it'll really help you get your arms around what I'm talking about, where you lay out a plan, a roadmap to go towards being awesome. And I want you to be awesome. I want you to win. But, you have to, and that book, Start takes you through that roadmap. It's what it does. And it'll help you do that. So hang on, Kelly will pick up, and we'll get you in Financial Peace University and get you that book. And if I can help you while you're fighting through all this, you call me. I'll walk with you. I'm on your team. I'm not here to kill your dreams. I'm here to keep them from turning into nightmares.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show.
Akimi starts off this hour in North Carolina. Hi, Akimi. How are you?
Hi, Dave. How are you? Thank you so much for taking my call today.
Sure. What's up in your world?
I am 30 years old. I'm married, and combined, me and my husband have roughly $328,000 worth of student loan debt.
Good
I know
Lord.
a house is out of the question.
Goodness. Wait a minute. Who's the doctor or lawyer? Unbelievable.
Neither one of us. I'm a clinician. I'm a counselor, marriage and family counselor, and he does graphic design and engineering. But I just graduated last year, so I'm still
Why so
working
much student loan debt for those degree fields?
Well, he's out of state, so that's where he got hit in the head. He has $166,000, so he went to a different state. That's why his is so high.
The graphic artist.
And mine's is undergrad and graduate combined.
Okay. What's your household income?
Combined together, we're let's see. I make $45,000 a year. He makes about $55,000.
Oh. Okay. It's going to be a long slog, isn't it, kiddo?
It is. I know. I already have no hope.
Wow. Well, I want you to have hope, but it's going to be a distant light over the horizon. I mean, you got mathematical issues here with $100,000 towards $300,000. I mean, if I do 60 a year out of your 100 and put you on beans and rice, that into 300, that's like what in that 5 years? Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a tough 5-6 years ahead of you, and that's if you really, really dial it back. And no, you don't need to buy a house till you clean this mess up. Unbelievable.
And kids are out of the question too, right?
Yeah. Do what?
I said, and kids would probably also be out of the question, out of the scenario.
No, but you won't be able to quit work and stay home.
Oh, no. I've never wanted to. I couldn't do that.
Okay. I mean, kids, you can have kids, and they're not that expensive. They're not, I mean, you know, they eat what you eat usually if you're smart, once they get past the early stages anyway. But kids don't break you. But, you know, you don't have an extra $30,000 to save up and put down on a house while you've got $338,000 in student loan debt making $100,000.
Yeah, absolutely not. Yeah, we're in an apartment, so we're gonna. I told him we need to stay there until we knock down some of this debt.
Yeah, you need to get some progress on it before you even move to a rental house. But yeah, I think it's gonna take you a while, so you're gonna have to live somewhat of a life. But you know, you don't need to plan on vacations, and you don't need to plan on expensive car purchases or anything else. You've got a substantial mess on your hands, and you're going to have to really lean into it to make it go away inside of 10 years. You can do it in 5, but you're going to have no life at all. You can do it in 6 and have a tiny bit of a life.
Okay.
But it's not going to be buying a house, and it is going to be, you know, you're having kids during that time for sure. I mean, that's a long time to put off having kids. Okay. But so are either one of you, let's see, he's in graphic arts, he's making 60. Why are you only making 40 as a counselor? That's low.
Well, no, So I work full-time as at an insurance company. I'm not fully licensed yet, so I'm provisionally licensed. So I work part-time at a crisis center. So I won't get my full salary as a clinician until I'm fully licensed.
Which will be about what, another year? You got a year worth of practice?
About a year and a half, anywhere from a year and a half to 2 years since I just started at the crisis center this year.
You have to get so many hours of practicum.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then your master's allows you to pass and start. Yeah, as a clinician, you ought to be up around 100, shouldn't you?
Hopefully.
Yeah. See, that changes our numbers a little bit once you get there.
Okay.
Because it doubles your income, takes you from 100 to 160.
Yes, sir.
You know, and household income, and that changes the curve. So you might do this, if given that, you might do this in 4 years.
Okay.
But you guys are just going to have to be very intentional. And, I don't want you freaked out, paralyzed with fear, but I want you scared enough. I want you scared enough to stay on task.
Okay.
A healthy kind of a fear, like don't touch the hot stove kind of fear.
Right. Okay.
Not I'm overwhelmed, I'll never get out of this, and I'm hopeless. Not that. That's not what we want. You got to fight through. So,
Okay.
but you can do it. I can mathematically see it. I just know you got a long, tough life ahead of you for these next couple of years.
Okay.
And quick as you can get that practicum under your belt and double your income, the faster you do that, the faster this mess is gone, and the faster you move on past it, right?
Yes, sir.
So that gives you a whole other reason to crank up those hours to get, because it's a number of hours in most states. Is it in North Carolina?
Yes, it is. We need 1,500 before we can be before we can be fully licensed.
Yeah, and so I'm working that like it's my overtime job because it gets me towards 100K income away from my 40.
Okay.
I'm going to go in all in on that. For this, maybe we can turn 2 years into 12 months if you go bizarre crazy on that, or maybe 14 months or something, instead of just going, well, the normal is. No, normal ain't where you are.
Right.
So, get after it. And have you guys been through Financial Peace University?
No, sir, we haven't. My mother-in-law's been telling me about it.
I want you to go through it because I want the support around you for you guys to get dialed in on a hardcore track that gets you out of this mess. Okay. And I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to give it to you. Okay.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
All right. It's a 9-week class. You have to go once a week for 9 weeks. You have to attend if I give it to you free. And then someday when you're out of this mess, you find somebody that's scared and overwhelmed with student loan debt and you pay for them to go through. But that's later on. Okay. You'll have plenty of opportunities to do that as a clinician. I promise you. Wow. Thank you for the call.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
So let's go to the phone lines where we have Dustin in Albuquerque, New Mexico. What's going on, Dustin?
Hi, how's it going?
Good.
Well, I this past year, 2023 was my first full year of owning a house, and I had always heard people who own houses don't really get a tax return back. So I went to do my taxes, and sure enough, he said I was going to get like $100 back, and their fee is like just over $300. So he recommended I take some money out of my 401k from 2023 and put it in an IRA. And he said if I put like $4,000, I would probably get like at least a $700 or $800 return on my taxes rather than a $100 return.
This guy's
So
fired.
I wanted to
instantly. Keep talking.
Really?
So
keep talking.
what I
but,
understand
man,
is you're going to get a $100 refund right now,
Yeah, like 100 and
and
something.
their fee to work with the tax pro is $300, and you don't have the $200 to cover it. Is that the
Well,
problem?
I was gonna put it on my credit card, and he said, "Well, if you want, you could do this, and it would cover our fee, and you would get, some money back."
he suggested a 401k loan.
Is he saying to withdraw the money from the 401k, or is he saying do a transfer from an old 401k, do a direct rollover? What exactly was he saying to do?
If I understood right, he wanted me to roll over like $4,000 from my 401k from.
Is this an old employer?
from my earnings from 2023. No, I'm still working with this employer.
Well, okay. You're not going to be able to do a rollover unless you leave that employer.
Oh, okay.
So what he's saying to do, it sounds like he's saying to withdraw money from the 401k.
He wants him to withdraw it to pay.
Yeah,
which
to
will cause you to
withdraw
pay
and put
like
it in an
35% penalties and taxes in order to do that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Listen.
I don't trust this tax guy. First of all, he's missing a few brain cells.
Here's the thing.
Telling you to do this so that you can cover the $200, $300 fee you owe
George,
him?
we can't. We're expending way too many mental calories trying to understand that this tax guy is whack. Here's the thing. Here's at the core of this. You're getting $100 back. That's great. That means you didn't overpay taxes. And, you have to pay them for their services. So I think right now you've just got to break your mind for a moment, because what's happening is normal. Like, I don't pay that much in taxes and I have to pay my tax guy. Like that right there is actually normal. What should happen is what I should say. What's normal is people get back $8,000 and they don't even feel that they paid their tax professional because they're getting back these exorbitant amounts and they're thinking that they won the lottery and that their tax guy did something wonderful for them, when really all they did was just loan the government money all year long and didn't even collect any interest on it. And so I kind of want to reframe your brain there and just go, listen, it's great. You didn't get a tax refund back. That just means you didn't overpay the government. You had access to all of your money all year long, which is a good thing. And now you got to pay these guys for their services. No harm, no foul. Like that's the way it should be.
So when do you have to make this payment?
Well, we were doing my taxes this past weekend, and he just put it on hold. Until I looked into it. He told me to look into the IRA and to see if I could take money out of my 401k. But then I heard about you guys. I've never really listened to the show, but I heard about you guys, so I thought I'd call and ask.
I'm so glad you did, Dustin, truly. So here's the deal. I'm going to go, how much can I work? What can I sell in order to make $300 to pay this guy's tax fee? But then I'm done with him.
And we're not taking out 401k loans to pay our tax guy for our income tax return.
Okay. And I don't know if I can ask too. I've always wondered about like a Roth IRA. Should I just stick with my 401ks or should I consider moving to like a Roth?
Do you have any debt?
Just the house.
Just your mortgage payment?
No credit card debt, no car payment?
Well, I have a little bit of credit card debt, like $600, but
that's debt.
I travel for work, so I use my credit card like to eat. And
I travel for work. I use my debit card.
Yeah.
And that way I can't go into debt.
Mm-hmm. And if they're causing you to go into debt, they need to provide you a company card for that. But do not put company expenses on a credit card, because if something happens, you're on the hook. If they fire you or whatever, and they're like, we don't even know what you're talking about, that's not an expense anymore, you're on the hook for that bill, dude.
Well, to be honest, I do the credit card because I can't really afford to put anything on my debit card. Like, I literally...
Then they need to provide you some petty cash or some funds in order to do those things. But you should not be going into debt on a monthly basis to fund purchases for your job. Like, hard line.
But even if they pay me back the very next week? Because
you're in debt. You're in debt. Your name is on the line until they decide to pay you back. Because what happens if you do something and you're like, listen, I thought that was an expense.
And you're paying 25% interest on this balance in the meantime.
Yeah.
So, Dustin, the real question is, why don't you have any margin even though you don't have much debt?
Right. If $300 is an issue.
Yeah. I'm confused. Like, how much do you make?
Well, after my taxes and my insurance, I get like $1,500 every 2 weeks.
Okay, so $3,000 a month. Are you doing any investing right now into that 401k?
No. Well, yeah, whatever. I mean, I don't know exactly how much it is, but it's just whatever my job put forward.
Well, it's about to be 0% because right now you need $1,000 in a starter emergency fund because you're going to keep going back into credit card debt if we don't solve this. So pause investing down to 0 right now. go get some side jobs, start selling stuff, pay the $300 to your tax guy, save up $1,000 in the emergency fund, and then let's get rid of this credit card debt, and then we can get back to investing.
Hey, how much is your mortgage
So
every month?
my mortgage actually went up this year because they underestimated my taxes for last year. So it went up to just under $2,000.
That's the
And
problem.
then
Goodness gracious.
There's your problem,
Yeah.
bud. Your problem,
2/3 of your money is going to this home.
yeah. The rule of thumb here is we don't want your mortgage to be any more than 25% of your take-home pay after taxes. And you are well above that. And that's why you're feeling the heat. That's why you don't have any money saved. That's why it's hard to pay this $300 tax bill. And your brain even considered the idea of getting a 401k loan for it. We've got to get this ship righted.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Natalie's in Los Angeles. Hi, Natalie. How are you?
Hi, thank you for taking my call today.
Sure. What's up?
My question is, my husband and I have been saving for a house for almost 6 years. Our plan, we thought, would be 3 to 5 years, but then COVID happened and everything, and inflation, and we still aren't in a position where we can afford a house. And so my question is, we have money saved, and I'm not sure what we should do with it because it's just sitting in the bank.
How much do you have saved?
We have about 90,000, and my goal is by the end of the summer we'll have 100.
That's awesome. So can you just drop it in a high yield savings account, like one of those online ones?
So
the rates are pretty decent right now.
So how long would you suggest? I guess you just
The high yield savings accounts don't have a time on them.
You can just drop it in there and kind of set it, just forget about it. And when you're ready to use that money, you can pull it out. There's no stipulation on pulling the money out.
Oh, okay.
I'm a little curious. What's your household income?
So we have like a very unique situation. We live in LA County. My husband is a school teacher. We live just on his income, but we don't pay any housing expenses. We manage a property, so I'm a property manager.
What's your household income?
So it's $57 a month after taxes and health insurance.
Okay, so he's making $80,000 a year, and you've saved about $20,000 a year for 5 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much house are you trying to get when the time comes?
At this point, it's like I'm not very picky. Like whatever we can get.
Well, you got to be a little bit more specific than that. We're talking about prices and money. So, what do you think you're going to spend?
I'm not quite sure. We've kind of said maybe we'll leave the state, but we just haven't made that decision yet.
You live in one of the most expensive real estate counties in the world.
Yeah.
And you make, $75,000, $80,000 a year. So that's what you've got to consider. L.A., San Jose, San Francisco, right? New York City, London, Tokyo. These are super expensive markets. San Diego, not far behind, right? And so, not telling you to move, but, you may reach a point that what you get paid, you can't afford to live there. I mean, you can't, here's an example, okay? You can't make $50,000 a year and live in Manhattan and own your home, own your real estate, okay? It's not mathematically possible. So there are some things that you say, I can't afford to live there and have the house and have a house and have the dream that I want to do. And you're probably pretty close on this one.
Listen, my sister-in-law was a teacher living in Los Angeles, and they decided that they moved to North Carolina, and then they moved to North Florida because that's how they were going to afford the house. But I do think that if you take some time and you guys do some research, look at different areas, look at different cities and states, and really create a clear picture for what you want, because I think that you could easily, I don't feel like there's a clear target. So you're not really aiming at anything clear. It's just home ownership. But if you make a clearer target, I think that you'll be more excited about saving that money and you'll be more intentional about actually getting to the goal.
Well, that's exactly true. That's very true. And you can start to make a decision about career path and, where do we want, what part of, maybe I don't know if a teacher that works in LA County has to technically live in LA County.
That's true.
How much of a commute can we stand, in other words? Because LA is not unlike most other cities that the further you get out of town, in most directions, the cheaper the real estate. It's not unusual. It's basic ring theory of urban growth. And so, drop a pebble in the center, and as you go, every ring you go out, other than you hit a lake or you hit a mountain where the prices go up, other than you hit a particular neighborhood that is known for its prestige. But other than those things, as you go out the rings, generally speaking, for most of you listening, the further out in the country you get, the cheaper the property. I mean, it's a pretty simple concept, and I think most of us walking around know that. So you got to decide that, and then the other thing you decide is, do we want to live, or can we make the life we want to make with the money we make in LA County? And if we can't, then you'll be one of those California refugees who ends up in another state. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Well, in the twilight, as 2022 is coming to a close, Congress passed a massive spending bill, of course, because that's what you should do if you're in Congress. And but the good news is, as a part of that, they also passed what is appropriately called the Secure Act of 2022, 2.0. So what is the Secure Act 2.0? Well, it changes a bunch of things in your retirement and a couple of things in your student loans as well. And a good blog at RamseySolutions.com right now, very good detail on this, unpacked. If you want to get in there and really look at it and plug around. I think we post those blogs on Facebook too, if I remember, James. And but George, I want to take a minute, since that blog's out there, and you guys can go through it all and look at it in detail. But for those of you that don't make it over the blog, let's hit the highlights.
Yeah, there's a ton in here that really help a lot of people with their retirement. I mean, Secure Act stands for Setting Every Community Up for Retirement Enhancement. So kudos to the marketing team that got to create that little acronym there.
Yeah, well, good luck with that part. But anyway, it's good updates. It's some things that needed to happen.
Yeah, so it's starting with required minimum distributions. You'll hear these called RMDs. The age is rising to 73 instead of 72, which means you have an extra year without the government tapping you to get some of their cash.
Yeah, required minimum distributions are your 401k, your Roth, or your traditional IRAs. They require you to start taking money out at a minimum schedule so they can tax it. And it used to be 70 and a half, then it moved to 72, and with this it moves to 73. So you can leave your money alone and not touch it till 73 now. That's good.
Next one, no more required minimum distributions from Roth 401ks and Roth 403bs. So this one's interesting because you've already paid the taxes on it. So they're saying you've already paid the taxes, you can just have it.
It doesn't do anything to force you to start taking it out on RMDs. So we're going to let you just let it sit there and grow tax-free. You don't ever have to take it. Another reason to love a Roth.
That's great. Next up, smaller penalties for missed required minimum distributions. It was 50%. It's coming down to 25%.
Yeah, if you miss your RMDs. Yeah, simple.
That's good. Next, higher catch-up contributions on the way. So if you're 50 years or older, there's a lot of great ways you can step up your retirement. Put an extra $1,000 in your IRA, for example, an extra $5,000, extra $7,500 in your 401ks, and they're increasing that.
Yeah, 60 to 63, beginning in 25, in 2025, January 1, if you're age 60 to 63, you'll be able to put $10,000 annually into a workplace retirement plan, an additional $10,000. And so it allows you, if you're, quote, running behind, is it too late for me? This is for you, right?
Love it. All right, next up on the good news front, easier access to retirement funds for emergencies, or is it?
Not good news.
That's one of the downers of this plan here. We were doing so great, Dave. We were on a great roll.
We were batting 1,000 until we got to stupid land here.
And so here's what this means. Starting in 2024, you can withdraw up to $1,000 from your retirement account for personal or family emergencies. If you've been listening to the show for more than 10 seconds, you'll know that you should never tap your retirement accounts for emergencies.
Yeah, you should have an emergency fund and leave your freaking retirement account alone and let it grow and make you rich.
Absolutely. All right.
Dumb.
Here's an interesting one. Curious to get your take on this, Dave. Employers must automatically enroll you into a workplace retirement plan.
This is nanny state stuff.
Holding your hand.
This is we're going to take care of you because you're too stupid to take care of yourself idea. And so now when you join a company that has a 401k, the company is required to sign you up for the 401k automatically.
At an automatic minimum contribution rate of 3%.
And if you don't want that to happen, you have to
opt out.
Manually go in and opt out. You have to stop it from occurring. That's too much control. It's got a good intent. Want everybody to have a retirement account. That's a good thing. Yes, you need to be in your 401k, but let's say you're working the baby steps, you would need to opt out because you're not doing 401k because you're on baby step 2.
Well, and the other problem is if you are in a place to invest, you've got 3%, you don't realize it. You need to up that to 15% if you're out of debt with a fully funded emergency fund.
Yeah.
So be sure you pay attention to that stuff.
Don't, we're from the government and we're here to help. These are scary words, okay?
A 3% rate is not going to get you very far in retirement. So we've got to do better for sure. Next, this has been one of some hot debate. Employers can match your student loan payments with retirement contributions.
It's confusing.
Yes.
Because it sounds like they're paying your student loans. Now, some employers are now offering a benefit that has nothing to do with this, just where they will help you pay your student loans off one way or another, whatever it is. They'll match you, they'll do whatever. It has nothing to do with anything as far as this stuff goes. This is not that. This is you pay up to $3,000 on your student loan, and your employer puts up to $3,000 into your 401k. Which doesn't, it's just like...
Wouldn't that incentivize you to never pay off your student loans?
Like, we want you to eat apples, so we're going to chop oranges. It's just weird. You mix these things up, and people are getting confused about it already. They think it means the government's going to pay part of your student, or the employer's going to pay part of your student loan and match you on what you're putting on your student loan. They're not. They have to put it in the 401k. So it's weird.
Well, it's because
anything
loans,
that gets more money against your student loan or causes you to do that, anything that gets more money into your retirement, I'm for all of that, but this is just convoluted and weird.
Well, wouldn't you be pissed if you already paid off your student loans or didn't have any, and Joe Schmo's next to you is getting an extra $3,000 in his 401k?
That's a benefit, though. That's your employer offering a benefit. The employer's not required to offer this benefit.
I'm curious to see how many employers do this.
Yeah, I don't think they'll. Well, you never know.
You never know out there. All right. Next up, you can roll over unused 529 plan funds to a Roth IRA.
Ding, ding. This one's good.
This one I love because that's been a big point of objection. People go, well, Dave, what if my kid doesn't go to college? They don't use all the money. That money's just wasted.
Yeah, it's not.
You can roll it
after
over.
15 years, your kid rolls it into their Roth IRA, no penalties.
Up to the annual contribution.
So you put $150,000 into a 529. Kid uses 75 or 80,000 of it. Whatever's left in there sits there 15 years, growing tax-free in good mutual funds. And then they roll it into a Roth IRA, into good mutual funds, and it continues to grow tax-free. No penalties.
That one I'm a huge fan of.
I love this one.
This is a fun one, too. Roth options are now available for simple IRAs and SEP IRAs. So folks that are self-employed, business owners, this is cool.
I'm confused. I thought that was already there. I'm not sure they.
The Roth
I'm not
SEP
sure
and
they
Roth
didn't.
Simple.
I'm not sure they didn't already have that, but I could be wrong. So it's good, though. Yeah, the simple IRA is simply a 401k for small business. And the SEP IRA is the simple incentive match plan for it's best used by a solopreneur, because if you have employees, you have to put the same amount in
you got to
that
match
you put in
it
for yourself. So we seldom use SEP IRAs much, but simple IRAs are great for small businesses to open up, and now they can do a Roth.
That's good news. And lastly, new emergency savings account option alongside retirement accounts. So this one's a little different than the previous one, but it's saying that the employer can set aside up to $2,500 annually for non-highly compensated employees in a separate emergency savings alongside their retirement account. Yeah. So it's a little sidecar here.
Yeah,
but is it invested?
The problem is $2,500 is not enough for an emergency fund, and so then you've got the $1,000 you can take out of your 401k for your emergency, and you've got it all over at the employer. And so people get the idea, oh, my emergency fund's taken care of. It's not. It's not enough money. There's very few of you that 3 to 6 months of expenses represents $2,500. So this is one of those head fakes that the government's saying, hey, look, we did something, and they didn't want to do anything because it's not sufficient to cover it. Now, if they could do up to $10,000 in there or something, that might cover some people's the emergency
Not
fund.
enough to do any damage here.
I wouldn't use this instead of your emergency fund, and I wouldn't use the option to cash money out of your 401k for emergencies either as your emergency fund. I wouldn't do either one. I'd leave all of that alone.
Well, credit where credit's due. There's a lot of wins in here, and you guys can check out the entire article. We've got it linked in the show notes, wherever you're listening, of course, at RamseySolutions.com. But I needed a win today. I'm going to call this a win.
I'm going to call it a win. We pick on, and we can even allow President Joe Biden to call a win. He signed it.
I'm sure he's already tweeted it.
He signed it, and so he gets a win on that. Way to go, President Biden.
You don't hear that often from Dave.
Not often at all. Can't shoot down a balloon, but you can sign this. This is The Ramsey Show. Chris starts off this hour in Tampa. Hi, Chris. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Okay, quick background. I'm 21. I started a lawn service when I got out of high school. I was 19. Anyway, I make about $45,000 to $55,000 a year, and
profit?
I still live at home.
Profit?
No, that's gross. Profit, I would say, right now it's about $35,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I still live at home. I'm not investing anything. I just kind of want to know what's the next step, going forward here.
You have any money?
Yeah, I've got about $5,000.
Okay. You got any debt?
No.
Okay, that's good news. All right. What are you doing to increase your income?
I work every day.
No, that's making your income. That's making income. I ask what you're doing to increase your income.
I'm just getting as many lawn accounts as I can every day. I've got a couple of companies that I work for that have been phenomenal in getting me more work. And that's starting to grow too. So just keep finding out more companies and getting more work.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Is how I'm doing.
So you've got equipment to do all this work with?
Yes.
And where's the equipment stored?
It's stored at my parents' house.
Okay. Where you live?
Yes.
All right. All right. What do you want to be doing when you're 31 or 41?
Well, I would like to keep doing what I'm doing, just do it on a bigger scale. Have more lawn crews and doing more different kind of things like landscaping and irrigation and laying sod and even selling sod, things like that.
Yep. Okay.
I do a little bit now, but I'm still in the learning process with a lot of things, so
Gotcha.
I don't want to take on something I don't know how to do yet.
I wasn't asking you to. I'm just asking you where you're going. What do you do a profit and loss statement on your business?
Yes.
Every month?
Yes.
Okay. And do you do a budget on your business?
I don't do a budget on my business because I do it because I project what I would do.
That is a budget.
Okay.
If you project your revenue and you project your expenses next month and the next month and through the end of the year or through the next 12 months, if you project your revenue and you project your expenses, you have automatically projected your profits. You understand that?
Right.
Revenue minus expenses equals profits. If you've got that projected out, you have a budget.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be real sophisticated, but that's all a budget is driving with the windshield, not just the rearview mirror. The P&L is the rearview mirror. You follow me?
Yes.
Okay. So you're on top of it for 21 years old. You're killing it. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
You're doing really good. So if you know that you're going to make X number of dollars in a year, then the next thing is if you were to move out, what would be your household budget, and how do you afford rent, and where would you be renting? And would you take in a roommate, or how would you do all of that? And then once you answer that question, if you can do it on what you make now, then it's time to move.
Okay. And as far as investing in retirement, is that something to think about now, or is that something to kind of wait a little bit till I get settled in and see what it does?
Well, I want you to get settled in, and then I want you to have an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses before you start investing, because that's your rainy day fund if something happens. Because, for example, if you got hurt, you would really have a problem with your income.
Right.
That would be an emergency. And, I mean, if you got hurt and it wasn't bad, but it just slowed you down,
Right.
For a little while. For 90 days you had trouble producing quite as much. But you could still work, but not quite like you could. Before that you need an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. Once you get that in place, then I'm going to be there with you. And but you don't have to have that to move out. You've just got to have the money to do the deposits and be able to monthly, doing your budget, afford to live and pay groceries and lights and water and rent. And you need to go shop some places. If I lived here, here's what it would cost. If I lived there, there's what it would cost. And in this situation, I'd have to have a roommate. In this situation, I could park my equipment at my house, or I'm in an apartment and I leave the equipment at mom and dad's house. I move out, but I still use their place to park my stuff, and so on. This is the kind of thing because some apartment complexes are probably not going to let you park 4 trailers of equipment around there or whatever. So you just got to look at those kinds of things and make that decision. But yeah, you don't have to be financially whole and investing before you move out. You just got to be able to pay your bills.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show.
Thanks for joining us, America. It's a free call anywhere in North America. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Natalia, is with me in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Hi, Natalia. How are you?
Hey. I'm doing good. I had a few questions. I am trying to get into this out of debt, I guess, but I'm kind of looking into it, and I have no idea where to go from here. I know that you suggest the baby steps and the every dollar budget, which I have done or started to do.
Good.
My yearly income is like $31,000, and I think my debt is $25,000 to $30,000. Right now, but and I've cut like a lot of my useless expenses out, like eating out. I've got rid of my cable and my internet. I picked up a second-time job.
Good.
And
how much are you making at your extra job?
That I don't know because I just recently started that one.
What are you going to be doing?
I'm a waitress there.
Okay. All right. Cool. How many nights a week?
Right now they have me at 3.
Okay, cool. And what kind of debt is your $25,000 to $30,000 in debt?
I ended up, before I became a Christian, I was cohabitating or whatever with my boyfriend at the time. But we were kind of living like a married couple, so we purchased a car together, and we purchased like a few things. We opened a credit card together. So he left, but he made sure that he ran everything up, and then I ended up handing the car over because I couldn't afford it anymore. So now I have the repo charge on my credit score and the credit cards.
And how much of the 25 is the repo charge?
15.
15. Okay. Is that what was owed on the car at the time that they took it?
I am not too sure. I gave him the car because he said that he was going to pay it.
And he didn't, and they repoed it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's got his name on it and your name both, right?
Nope, just mine.
Just yours. Oh, this guy really played you. Okay. And I'm so sorry. And how old are you?
20. I'm going to be 27 in October.
27. Okay. Okay. And so there's two numbers on the repo. Number one, the first number is the total amount that was owed on the car. Do you have any recollection or any paperwork on the car? Any recollection of what you paid for the car when you bought it?
I bought it for $32,000.
Okay, and how long did you have it?
3 years.
Okay. All right. The 15,000 could be either figure. I don't know what we've got. So anyway, the total that you owed on the car at the time of repo, sometimes they turn that number in, and that is not what you owe because they sold the car for some amount on a repo auction, and that has to be credited to you. Okay? So let's say that they took the car and you owed $22,000 on it, and they sold it for $7,000. The difference would be $15,000, and $15,000 would be the actual debt you do owe now. Okay, but if you only owed $15,000 on the car, whatever they sold it for would be reduced. That amount would be reduced by the amount they sell it for. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to set that number to the side a minute. What other debt have you got?
The credit cards, which I didn't have. I didn't allow them to. I didn't take the amount that they said that I could charge. I took $1,000.
How much do you owe on the credit cards total that have your name on it?
I think $2,000.
Oh, not a lot. And are you behind on those? Have you paid those?
No, I just started looking into it.
Do they have your name only on them?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So that's about $17,000 between those two numbers. What other debt do you have?
I have medical expenses and stuff, and then I have some stuff in collections.
Okay, and like what?
Let me see. Oh, I've got. There's actually some bad checks that are in there.
How much are they?
And they're totaling about probably $300. And then we had joint bank accounts, and I had 3 bank accounts. I closed the one.
Okay. Have you got all of the accounts that he has access to closed?
The other 2 got closed because
have you got all of the accounts that he has access to closed?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so.
Including the credit cards, right? So
I thought that when they went to collections, they're closed.
Okay. So he's not going to be able to run up any more problems for you, correct?
Correct.
Okay, good. Well, so we've stopped the bleeding, and most of this debt is old bad debt in one way or another. That's bad news, but it's also good news because you're not paying payments on hardly any of this right now, correct?
Correct.
Do you have anything you're paying payments on today?
No.
Okay, good. All right. So you've gotten an extra job. You're on every dollar. We're going to do a written budget, and here's what you're going to do. You're going to buy your food, which is eating at home. We're not going out to eat unless you get free food at your restaurant where you work, okay? But other than that, you don't go out to eat. Food, shelter, clothing, transportation, and utilities. Basics of life is all you can do. And everything else we're going to use to clean up this mess. Because the more money we throw at this mess, the faster the mess goes away, and we want this mess to go away. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Good. Okay. So that's what you're going to do. And the great news is you're not afraid of work. And the great news is you are a person who makes mistakes like we all do, but you have learned your lesson on a bunch of these, hadn't you?
Yes.
You are a lot wiser than you were 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And wisdom sometimes comes from pain, kiddo, and it did the same thing for me, so I get it. Hopefully you won't lose your hair like I did, but it's stress that does that, I'll tell you. So stupid stuff, we've all done it, and you got a list of it, and you got to pay some stupid tax. I've paid plenty in my life, and you're going to be okay. I'm going to walk with you. So what I want you to do now, once you're doing this, the first thing I want you to do is I want you to save $1,000, and just in cash in the underwear drawer is fine. Nobody knows it's there but you. It's just a little baby rainy day fund in case something breaks on your car or something like that, okay?
Okay.
Baby step 1 is a starter rainy day fund. Baby step 2 is then we're going to list all this mess you've got, all these debts, and you're not paying payments on any of them, and we're going to clean up the little one, and then the next little one, and the next little one. The good news is that you're going to get your checking account opened back up because you're going to get rid of these bad checks first because they're all small. Right?
Okay.
They're little.
Yes.
I mean, your tips from 1 month is going to clean up all of that. Your tips from 1 week is going to clean up all of that, probably. Right?
Yep.
And you're going to have no bad checks hanging over you. And then you're going to have no old medical bills hanging over you. And then you're going to have no other little collection hanging over you. See, like $5,000 completely rocks your world, the people that are bothering you. It gets rid of all of them. It gets it down to 2 or 3 things. Right?
Okay, yep.
Because a whole bunch of your stuff is mosquito-sized. It is not full-size pterodactyl, dinosaur size, right?
Correct.
The mosquitoes will drive you crazy, but they don't kill you. They make you think you're going to die, but they just drive you crazy. And that's what these bad checks and all these little $50, $80, $200, $500 crap is driving you nuts. Good news is it's making you do something about it, okay? Once you work through those, then you go back and you'll be able to settle this this repo. You'll be able to settle it for about 25 cents on the dollar, 20 cents on the dollar. And so $3,000 or $4,000 is going to make that repo go away. So you don't have $25,000 in debt. You got less than 10 by the time you settle on that repo. So hold on. I'm going to give you I'm going to send you through Financial Peace University. I want to participate in your healing. You call me if you need more help. We'll walk with you. I'm right there with you, kiddo. I got you. You can do this.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
So I was wondering, I know this is a bit of a generalized question, but I was wondering if you had any advice or tips for listeners who feel limited in their potential due to issues, with mental health.
Tell me more.
All right. So just to give you a little bit of background, I'm not in a deep financial hole or anything like that, but there is a bit of family history. Part of it is addiction. Part of it is mental health. My mother had depression and anxiety. My father, gambling addict. Great parents at the end of the day, very fantastic parents. They did a good job, but family history there that just kind of caused disruptions in my childhood and then into adulthood. On my personal end, my mother passed away in 2017. When that happened, I received an inheritance, obviously, and I just was not smart with it the way I needed to be. Instead of investing it, instead of using that to catapult myself into a stable future, I ended up spending it. I still think about those mistakes to this day. And now I'm in a situation, I'm approaching 30. I would like to be able to start a family, have financial stability, all these different things. But those past failures combined with the family history really just kind of put a damper on those thoughts. So it's hard to have long-term motivation.
Do you have mental health diagnostics? Have you been diagnosed with emotional or mental health disorders?
Yes. So when I was younger, I was diagnosed Asperger's syndrome. Now that's changed since then. Obviously, they got rid of that diagnosis, so I think it's just
spectrum
autism.
disorder.
But, I mean, outside of that, there's definitely a little bit of anxiety and things of that nature.
So, given just the 2 seconds you just unpacked 30 seconds you unpacked your childhood, what I would love to tell you is, it sounds like for the last 25, 27, 28 years you've been surviving, and congratulations, you made it. Did you do something dumb with money? Yes, we all do. And the only thing you can do anything about is what happens next. And so let me ask you something. Any time you sit down and you think about blowing all that money, have you ever been able to figure out how to get some of that money back and deposit it into your checking account?
So I mean, like in terms of the money that's already gone, like I do think about just how could I have been smarter with it, and like in the present day, how can I budget my money? How can I make sure that money's set aside for emergencies, for a future? So in those avenues, I'm doing well. I do have money saved up. I have a 401k. I have a Roth IRA.
Good.
But
and you don't have a mental health diagnosis.
No, I mean, not
so what you are
officially,
is like a normal 30-year-old person.
Yeah.
That made a mistake once with money. You don't have any limiting factors.
In fact, you scratched and clawed your way out of a pretty hellacious childhood to get here.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, sounds like you're pretty strong to me. You're a lot stronger than you think you are.
If I were you, I would go sit down with somebody and get retested, just to clear your mind. I don't want you Googling, I have some sort of diagnostic or some sort of self-limiting factor. And
there's not. John, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not aware of any environmental, but no physical inherited. If your dad's an addict, it doesn't make you an addict.
No, but you can grow up in a pretty traumatic situation.
I know, but that's an environment.
That's what I mean. That's why you get to decide what happens next.
Yeah.
So, Grant, what do you think you're doing wrong right now?
I think right now it's just I don't think that I'm branching out on my own and being independent enough. So I'm living with my dad now. We both kind of need each other. Him, I think I'm helping him financially. He's helping me emotionally. So we're a good team. But it's.
Do you need emotional support right now, Grant?
I'm not through a therapist. I've tried those in the past. I'm just a little. I don't want to say cynical, but doubtful maybe. It's just like a little tough to kind of.
Okay, so if you don't want to
how does your addict father support you as a 30-year-old emotionally?
Well, emotionally, it's just that, as you could tell just from this brief phone call, there's a lot of self-doubt there, and he does try to be as encouraging as possible. This time a year ago, I was originally an operations manager for a shipping company, and I did really well. And just, some wear and tear emotionally, physically, I ended up losing that job, and that really rocked my confidence. He ended up being the person there that just got me through that.
He got you through, or he said, "I believe in you, and you can do it. And by the way, I need you to pay the electric bill and the light bill. Can I borrow $100?"
Yeah, it wasn't the electric bill necessarily. So the original plan when I moved in with him was.
Hold on. We're gonna get all sideways. Here's the deal. I don't understand what you're asking. How can I help? Because here's the deal. You don't want professional help because you're cynical of it. You don't want to get re-diagnosed but you do want to diagnose yourself. You don't want to get away from some of this toxic behavior that you grew up with, yet you want to live with your dad. You want to be secure with money as a 30-year-old, yet you still feel compelled to fund his life. All these are choices you're allowed to make. You're a grown adult. But I'm trying to walk you through each one of them and saying where they're not in alignment with what you're telling me you want your life to look like. And so how can I help?
Absolutely.
How can I help?
I think it's just, I guess, how can I branch away and become independent?
Move away. Get a job and move away.
Branch away and become independent.
Get a one-bedroom apartment and say, "Dad, in 2 months, I'm going to be out here on my own because it's time for me to be a 30-year-old man all by myself."
And by the way, confidence doesn't come from someone saying, "I believe in you." Confidence comes from actually accomplishing something.
That's right. And yes,
it's a muscle that's built.
We need people to pick us up when we fall, and that's awesome. And then we got to go take the next step.
Yeah,
that's confidence. That's where you get confidence.
I want you to go get some quick wins. Get some wins that make you feel good. That make you say, "I did this. I accomplished something. I accomplished something. I rented an apartment. I got 4 jobs. I piled up some cash. I work a lot. I'm good with people." And start to build some confidence around these things, because you've set your identity up as the child of a depressed mother and an addict father, and destined to follow in their tracks. And you are not destined to follow in their tracks. You are destined to make a choice as to whether you will follow in their tracks.
And you can't say, I need some help, I want some guidance, but I don't want to take help and I don't want to take guidance. Those two things are incompatible together. So either you have the courage and the humility to say, "I don't know how to do what comes next. I'm going to go sit down with a professional. I'm going to go talk to an investment professional. I'm going to go talk to a mental health professional. I'm going to talk to somebody to walk me through this." Cool. Or I'm just going to keep staying in the same situation. At the end of the day, I'll give you a quote from my friend Michael Easter. Do something. Do something that is different from the situation you're in right now. Otherwise, everything will stay the same, except it will degrade. It will slowly decompose underneath you.
Yeah, those continuing to do the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity.
Yeah.
That's what the 12-steppers say, and they're quoting Edison when they said that, so, or Einstein, one of the two, I can't remember which, but either one. So, yeah, it's, so when I went broke, Grant, I got and lost everything. I also lost a lot of my confidence. And I'm a brand new dad and a husband, and I'm obviously lousy at all of it because the water and the electricity got cut off in the house that my children lived in. Not exactly a non-toxic environment, And so then I get to decide somewhere in the following months, am I a bankrupt guy who is useless, or am I a guy who made some mistakes and went bankrupt? Those are two different sets of identities. And I had to make that decision consciously as an act of my will. And by the way, my parents went bankrupt when I was a kid. So does that mean it's always destined for my children then to go bankrupt? Is this like a DNA thing? Well, crap, no.
You get to choose what happens
next. You get to choose not to do the stupid stuff that causes bankruptcy. And so, in the following 35 years, I've become a multi-millionaire choosing not to do the stupid stuff that caused me to file bankruptcy. And because I'm not defined by that, it's something that happened, something that I did, but it's not who I am. And that's a different thing. It's not who I am based on my parents, and it's not who I am based on my failure, because failure is a momentary thing. I found something that didn't work, and I changed it, went to something that does work.
It's a definition of wisdom.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Sue is in Chicago. Hi, Sue. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
My husband is 62 and I'm 58. We've been married 38 years. We have no debt, and our net worth is a little over $1 million. 200,000 of that is in real estate, 800,000 in stocks and bonds. In 1997, we were raising 4 little boys, and my husband went through leukemia and a bone marrow transplant.
Ooh.
And so the only life insurance we could get was a whole life, and it was a $600,000 policy. Dave and Rachel, we put in, since 1997, $10,000 a year into this policy. Now, fast forward, 15 years ago, my husband had a heart attack and 5 bypasses. Longevity in his family, the men, just historically do not live long lives. So here is our caveat right now. All the boys are through college, married. We have 10 grandchildren. And this life insurance policy, the cash value is now around $240,000. My husband and I are trying to make this decision. He is still working. He has an income of about $80,000 a year. He hopes to retire at about 65. My income a year after COVID, I'm a Christian motivational speaker, so my income dropped from about $50,000 a year to now $20,000. We are trying to make the decision of whether we cash in this whole life policy and put into our stocks and bonds portfolio, given the fact of his life expectancy to be
what's the face value?
$240,000.
No, that's the cash value. What's the death benefit?
It's $666,000 right now.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So basically, if he dies, when he dies, we all die.
Yes.
When he dies,
I understand.
if the policy is in place, you will receive $666.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that means they're going to keep $240. So you really have a $400,000 insurance policy.
Correct.
That's really what you have. Okay. And so the swing is, do you need the extra $400 to live? And the answer is no.
Mm-hmm.
You don't. So if you cash it out and put $250 in there, or if you keep it, either one, you're going to be okay either way, financially speaking, mathematically speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed?
Agreed.
Okay. So this really comes down to a bet that you're making, not based on the past, but for $400,000, I'm going to bet that I'm going to put in less than $400,000 before he dies. Right? Mathematically,
okay.
it's very cold-hearted, but it's a math thing.
Okay.
And so it's, and what's the...
Like, can she save another $400?
Still no. I'm saying she's paying for a $400,000 life insurance policy, in essence. They are paying. Okay. And if he dies before you put $400 into it, if you put $300 into it, you gained by $100.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's
Yes.
that's the math. Good, but and is it currently and it will be forever $10,000?
Yes, and that's been our first. Since we got it, we fund that first, and then our employee matching, and then our Roths. That's been our.
Yeah. Well, that would not be my order of priority, but if we're just making bets at $10,000 into 400,000, that's 40 years, is it not?
Yes, it is.
So if you're just placing bets on the math, you're going to keep it.
Okay.
It's a crappy product. I probably would have dropped it 15 years ago or 10 years ago and saved that money and quit then. And I hate it. I think it's a horrible product. But at this stage, what it's come down to is if you're going to get 666 upon his death, which is a weird number, by the way, but
yeah, it is. It is.
But the if you're going to get that upon his death, then and they're going to keep 240 of yours. That's 426 difference. Then he's got to live 42 years before you don't come out ahead. If I'm doing my math right, am I doing something wrong? 400 divided by 10 is 40, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so 420 divided by 10 is 42 years. He's 62, so he's got to make it to 104. Probably not happening. I mean, I'm probably not making it to 104, and I got longevity in my family, so, you know.
Right.
But
and she comes out better ahead doing that versus cashing it all out, taking that 250 and putting it in an investment.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very simplistic way of doing it, okay? If we want to get one more level of sophistication, we could say the present value of that money.
Right.
In other words, were you to invest $10,000 a year, how long before, and at an 11% rate of return in your stocks and bonds, what the market has returned, how long before you'd get to 400,000? I don't have that off the top of my head, but it's probably still 20 years.
Right. So if I'm tracking with you right, because this has been a dilemma for me. You know, we're pretty financially savvy. We did Larry Burkett before we heard of Dave Ramsey and have done the envelopes before they were cool. And I think about if I pull out, pull out the cash benefit of $240,000 approximately, and I invest that. Plus, I'm freed up $10,000 a year to
You're
also invest.
You're right. Your equation is more complete than mine. You're right.
Right.
You're exactly right.
It kind of swings this pendulum the other way.
Well, you got to get to if you do that, you got to get to 666, but you'd get there
with the 250
you'd get there in
invested.
6 years.
Exactly.
You know what? You got me. You got me. You didn't need me. I needed you. Okay.
Oh,
yeah, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. I left a variable out of that. Oh, wow, that was dumb. Okay, you got it. You're exactly right.
Good.
No, you're exactly right. So what I would do is run the sit down with your investment advisor and run the calculation if you invest at your current rates of return on your investments, $250 plus $10,000, and how quick do you get to 666? That's the equation. And if it's at 11%, I think you're there in about 5 or 6 years is what I think it's going to come out. I'm doing that in my head, but I'm not far off. So, yeah, I am going to cash it out. Good, I feel better because I hate those dadgum things.
I know.
I was having trouble keeping it. Yeah.
So you can take his job.
Yeah, Sue, Christian motivational speaker. Yeah, you can. You know, we have need for you. You also do math. Carolyn's with us in Montgomery, Alabama. Hi, Carolyn. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good.
Good.
I need some advice for the nastiest bill collector person.
Okay.
I've been through all of them and used your, call them, make an offer. And this one I put off because they've been horrible. They've called my employer. They call my kids. They're horrible. And although I know they've sold it a couple times and it's come down, they are saying that they can't settle for less than the original debt because this was one of those deals where they email you and tell you that they'll put it directly in your checking account. This was my truly most desperate moments. And so today I said, on my credit bureau credit report, it says it's like $390. They're saying, we won't take less than 4 something, and I offered them 25%, and they said, nope, we can't take any less than the whole amount because it involved your checking account. And by the way, we can come get you for this, blah, blah, blah.
They can't come get you. You're talking about a payday lender.
Yeah, but I never actually went into a store. It was actually all online.
Yeah, but it was essentially a payday lender. You wrote a check in advance, right?
I didn't write a check.
But I mean, you
never
gave them
physically
access
wrote
in
it.
advance. You gave them permission to take money out 2 weeks from now, and in return, you got money now.
Correct.
Yeah, that's a payday lender, online payday lender, albeit. But and no, that's not true. They can take less if they want, and no, it's not true. They cannot come after you criminally. They can't come after you criminally for writing a hot check because their entire business model is built on hot checks.
Sure.
And so anybody in the legal profession or anybody in the law enforcement profession will tell you that you have not broken any laws. So you can put that's a lie. The second thing is they can take less. There's not a law that says they can't take less. I won't take less could be a real answer, or we won't take less, but we can't take less is just not true.
Gotcha.
Of course they can. They just won't.
It's come down. They called me a couple years ago and wanted $1,000, and now it's $4,000. And I just said, okay, I'll go down to the next person on my bills and talk to you later. Bye. Click.
Yeah. How many more debts do you have?
Probably 2, because they were they're so nasty. I really put off talking to them.
Okay. Yeah, and what's happening is they're getting the reverse of what they hope for. They hope for beating you into submission, and instead what they're getting is nothing because you're just always thinking you're the last person I want to give money to.
Correct.
Yeah, so it's working in reverse. That happens with some of these guys. What is your household what's your household income?
About $40,000.
Okay. All right. And the other 2 debts amount to how much?
$4,000 and I think about $650.
$650?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, I would go ahead and get the $650 one worked out next and let them sit. Sitting 4 years hasn't softened them that much, though. So you're probably going to end up giving them $400 at some point. And of course, you know the drill. You do not give anyone electronic access to your checking account.
I have prepaid credit card. Thanks for your advice.
And
prepaid credit card for this event.
So that there are no access to your checking account, and you do not give them any money unless it's in writing.
Correct.
Settlement amounts in writing. Okay.
You've taught me that well. Thank you.
You're probably going to have a hard time getting that out of these guys, too, because you are dealing with bottom feeders. You're dealing with a scum.
I have that sense. I have that sense. Well, good. I'll just let them sit, and I might even try to work out the $4,000 before I go back to them.
That's fine. Or at any time you call me and I've got $300 or whatever my offer is, I'll do it. But until then, I don't really have anything to discuss with you. So you can call all day long. And you're going to get a dial tone. I'm gonna hang up on you.
Are they allowed to call your children? They must have looked them up. I don't know where they got their numbers.
I would send them a certified mail return receipt requested letter. Stating that they're not allowed to contact you at work anymore according to the Federal Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, that your employer has asked you not to take calls at work, and then if they call you at work again, record it because you can probably get the entire debt waived. If you continue to have trouble with them, go to collectionbully.com, collectionbully.com, and that's a group of attorneys that will go after collectors that are out of bounds on federal law. These guys are probably out of bounds on federal law, but it's not much money, and so and you owe it. So I'd probably just pay the $400 if you can get them settled. But if they continue these out of bounds, like calling kids, calling you at work, calling relatives, calling neighbors, and everybody knows they're a collector, which means they've broken federal law, and so that's when you would jump on them with collectionbully.com. Thanks for the call.